Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Tuesday, January the 15th, and I'll do a quick recap of the trades for the day. And so there's one trade that I'd held overnight, which was the Facebook trade, and a buy triggered on the ultimate trading signal on this yesterday, and I got into some common stock here and I took it off right around this bar around 7:20 or so. Just I was watching this and I you know just felt that it wasn't going to take out the 30-minute or opening range breakout, and I actually posted that in the Discord room that I have, and this is the trade that worked out quite well, about $600, not bad, but on a small amount of shares as well. It was at 150 shares, and profited about 600. And I posted this at 7:20, 3 a.m. this morning in the Discord room. The second trade that I want to talk to you about is the trade on Amazon, and again. Uh, this is also posted, the actual entry on this was posted live. While this refreshes, I'll show you this. This is something I posted in my room at 9 o'clock in the morning, and this was the entry point, again triggered by ultimate trading signal. And the price at that, when I got it, was 1664, and it was a little bit higher by the time I posted it by another $2. So let's take a look at this trade and sort of the reasoning behind it. So Amazon had a couple things going today. First, it was uh, there was a fair bit of option volume on Amazon. In fact, there were like two trades that were just gigantic, totaling about $5 million on this on Amazon. I'll show those to you as well. So this is right around here when I took the trade, when it broke this trend line. It's much easier to see this trend line on an hourly chart or the daily chart. Let's just look at it at the hourly chart. So this is a trend line where Amazon had been facing some resistance, and finally, it took it out, right? So once it took the resistance out, it became sort of a natural point to take the long. And as you can see, even on the hourly chart, this yellow bar shows that the ultimate trading signal triggered a buy. So back to the 30. The other thing I'll show you is how well this strategy has actually worked on Amazon over the last month. So let's take a look at the report on this. So, so this is again based on the fact that you traded 100 shares of Amazon. You don't have to. Even I don't trade 100 shares of Amazon, but if you did, these were the trades, right? So the first one was a profit of 6,500. You had a profit of 13,000, 3,400. 8,000, and this last trade is still open, so which has another profit of 2,500, assuming it's all based on 100 shares. So this is the profit generated between 12:14 and 1:15. So I'm not saying I was in all of these trades, but I'm just giving you an example of how well this strategy of ultimate trading signal ends up working, right? And you can check it on various stocks and various time frames as well. So you know the probability is in your favor when the past ones have worked okay. And that was another sort of rationale for me to actually take the trade. And I haven't closed this trade; it's still um, um, you know in progress. So let me also show you the option volume on this, right? So let's just drill down, and this is an app called the FlowGo app, and these guys have option volume and option information through the day. So amongst all the stocks that are traded, Amazon was in terms of order flow and the size was ranked 2. So there was a $5 million bet, and we can take a look at the details. So one of them is expiring on 118, and the other one on 228, and each of them was a substantial block of money. So this was 3.8 million, and this was 1.2 million. Again, with options, you have to realize that you will never truly know what the underlying intent is, right? Unless you can physically go and talk to that person, right? I mean, they're the only ones who can tell you. They could be, hedging it, or, creating synthetic positions, etc. But oftentimes, when you start seeing the flow, and you see that on multiple stocks, it kind of actually gives you a little bit added confidence that it's probably a decent trade, and to take. And clearly all of them were on the long side as well, right? In the sense that they weren't sold but bought, because they were bought closer to the ask price. So anyway, from here, they also have some proprietary methodology of trying to figure out uh, where some of the stocks have momentum, and you can see Amazon was one of them, Tesla was one of them, and Microsoft was another one. Microsoft again had a lot of option flow as well, and that was the third trade I actually took today. This is I actually took one of five calls for Feb, and so this one is fairly even in terms of where I bought it, and so I haven't made any money on this yet. The Amazon trade actually did pretty well. It went from 1654 to uh, about 1674, and that's still open. So let's just look at Microsoft, and the rationale behind it is somewhat similar, right? It had a buy that got triggered on the using the ultimate trading signal. And so clearly we encountered some resistance at this pivot point, which has been, uh, somewhat of a strong resistance for a while. My hope is that if the market continues the way it's been progressing lately, there's a decent chance that this will take out this range. And again, as I mentioned, that there was a huge, call action on Microsoft that happened today, and I'll show you the exact trade. And so that sort of gave me the added confidence that this is a trade worth pursuing. So if we look at Microsoft, where we can see there were four orders. So one of them was blocked, which I don't particularly pay attention to. A split is essentially a sweep, but that's limited to like one exchange. But these two are important because people are desperate to get their hands on it, and they swept multiple exchanges to actually make this buy. And this one was a 1.6 million bet for Feb the 1st for 104 calls. Now we'll see how these work out. Now, when you take some of this information and combine it with technicals, it gives you definitely an added level of confidence. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to cover today, and I'll talk to you guys soon.